Well, we're working on a tool truck here today. So what's been going on with this thing for a few days now, it's been starting slow. And a couple of times when it was cool in the morning, it had to be jumped off. But last time I did it, I cranked her up and I took the battery, well, this tester and this tester, and I'm getting 14.2 on the passenger side battery, and I'm getting 12.5 on this battery. So I unhooked both hots, both grounds to do some tests. Now both batteries are in the upper 12s, so she should crank fine. It's only 70 degrees, so she shouldn't need anything. So we're going to do a little ohm test to try and figure out what's going on, because either we got issue with the hot cable or we got issue with one of the ground cables. So what I'm going to do first, and I'm going to put y'all where y'all can see. Hang on. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to do an ohm test, and I'm going to come from the side of the solenoid, if I can get my leads laid out right. I want to get it where y'all can see. I can hear it because I have it on tone. So yeah, y'all should be able to see that. So what I'm doing is I'm testing from the solenoid on the firewall to the hot on the harness, and it's the lower post that's going to be hot. So if you go to the top post, you don't. Why? All right. So that's the lower post. And we're getting 0 ohms, so there's no resistance between that and the other hot. I'm gonna have to reconfigure because I don't have 7-foot arms that'll reach all the way over here, so give me a second. What I'm gonna do is I'm hooking a lead to the hot post on the far battery. So that's the hot all the way on the driver's side. And we're gonna go back to the test, same test we just did. I don't think I got good contact over here. It's the only thing I don't like about the little pinchers on these. They don't work sometimes. All right, we're hooking on everything. All right. So we got 0. Well, yeah, we're good there. And then I'm gonna test from the hot on this. Again, no batteries are connected. We're just testing wiring. So I'm gonna go from the hot here. So we got full continuity on the hot. So we're gonna re-rig and we're gonna check our ground. So we got 2 different grounds. So I'm gonna re-rig, let's see. I'm gonna go to this post on the top of the high pressure oil reservoir with a clamp. And then we're gonna, let me turn this where y'all can see. So I have a clamp on a stud on top of the high pressure reservoir, because these grounds go to the block. So, and that's what we want, because when you're spinning the starter, you got hot juice going to the starter and it grounding through the block. So let's see, let me get the tester right here, see if that's in screen for y'all. Yep. Okay, so we're going to test this. All right, we're not getting anything. So I just did this test before. I thought it might be a good thing for y'all to see. So just to make sure, I'm going to go back over here And we'll set this tester up where y'all can see it. Okay, so we still have our stud on the H-pop, or ground on the stud on the H-pop reservoir. So we're going to come over here and go to the inside of the ground. So you see we got perfect continuity there. I'm not a big fan of these old style squeeze clamps. This is going to get changed at some point, but it's good for right now. So that one is grounding all the way down to the block. It grounds right on the, these two grounds go down behind the harmonic balancer, and there's a 14 mil or something on left and right that ground it to the block. So this one is grounding to the block, which is coming up through the block, through the H-pop reservoir, and that's giving us our reading. This ground cable here, and it's the same one, I'm going to show y'all, same one right here we're going to test, which is this side, and I'm going to put you where you can see the screen, and we're not getting anything. So just to show you, you know, if I come over here, let's see, let me find a good ground. So we got the body, that body is grounding through that side, but again, when I'm touching this wire right here, and I'm going on the inside where, you know, it's clean, where it was up against the post, I'm not getting any signal at all. So it's just showing open circuit. So I'm going to try and play around with the, let me get over here, I'm trying to manipulate this, see if there's any loose fittings or anything, and I'm not getting anything. So we're going to have to go, we're going to have to go down under and see what's going on, why we're not getting anything. Could be an internal break in the cable, could be something below. Let me get a light and we're going to see what we find out. Alright, well, I found the problem, I believe. So we're going to go down right through here. And what y'all are looking for is that fancy copper fitting right there. So that's the bottom of the ground, which is going to the frame. And I remember that. But I also remember when I was putting this truck back together that the ground, the end of the ground was all messed up here. So or there was some issue with the ground. I don't remember if it's the terminal end or in the middle. So I put another ground off the block, and it was a 6-0 ground wire, and the 6-0's the battery is clocked 45 degrees over, so, or 90 degrees over. So it's got a special little clip, a little metal bracket that does a 90 degree, and it wasn't going to work with all of this. So we took that off, and I found one off of a parts truck, and that's this one, which just went down to the frame. So this side has no connection to the block. So when we hit the starter, you know, your electrons have to flow in a loop. So that's why if you unhook your batteries but you leave your hots on, if you unhook the negatives and leave your hots on, electricity can't flow in the loop, so you've disconnected the loop. Well, on this situation, we got a good loop over there because that goes down and grounds to the block. This side is grounding to the frame, and because there's no jumper wire on this side, it has to ground through the frame all the way to the other side. Frame ground is probably like I don't know, like an 8 gauge, so it's just too far. I was getting a faint reading on this cable on milliohms, but I wasn't getting anything on ohms. So I'm thinking that's our issue, is that we've got too much going on here for this to make the loop through the frame and get back to the other side, jump across the frame ground to the engine. So we're gonna go and we're gonna wire this up, take this ground clamp off. We're gonna run a new one straight to the block, and with a jumper to the engine, or we may just go off of this one and make a jumper where this one ties to the frame and go to the ground. I'm out to see. The boneyard has paid for itself once again. So we got a ground wire here. Of course, it's got the crappy end on it, which we'll rectify in a minute. But if you can see, let me see if I can get over here. I wanted to show y'all this. Let me get a ladder, hang on. All right, so what I got here is the ground wire right here, which has a Christmas tree push pin to hold it in the frame, keep it away from the belts and all that. And then underneath the water pump, and I can't see the video, so y'all gonna have to tell me. I always have to do this by feel. But there's a hook up here, and there's a hook up here for grounds. So I think it's a 14. And what's happening is the jumper, well, you have a solid wire going to the ground over here. So we're missing that piece, and instead of going there, we're going from the battery down to the frame with no connection to the motor. And without a direct connection to the motor, we're not getting full force on the juice of this driver's side battery. So we'll pull that off, we'll make a new end and get it on. Well, this is the bolt, and it was not a 14. I missed it by quite a bit. It was a 19. So that's the little bolt on the passenger side. Alright, well, I thought I hit the power button, but ended up we got enough room, so I went ahead and made a fresh cut, so I didn't have to fight cleaning all of the cleaning up all of the old, you know, corroded copper. So we just cut an inch off. I'm gonna slide a heat shrink on before we start so that we don't forget. And let's see, I need a razor knife. It's time for a new blade, or break this one off. This one getting a little thin in the skin. You see that even though we cut it back, we still had a little bit of that mess. Get in there and we'll get some cleaner. Let me see what size copper I'm gonna need. Yeah, that'll work. All right, let me go get some cleaner real quick. All right, all that is just a little QC electrical contact cleaner. Now what I'm gonna do on this is a little different, because I have some military style posts that you'll see them on the upcoming video. We're gonna be using them on the Rented Mule project for some winch line things. And I do not have a post here, but I'm gonna go pick up a brass one. So we're gonna get all of this ready and crimped. You can solder this and get as fancy as you like. I don't have any solder right now, and I'm trying to beat the daylight. So what we're going to do is we're going to crimp him. Alright, let me see here. I want it oriented the correct way. Yeah, we're just gonna go down. Thought I had enough room to squeeze one more, but I don't think that's gonna be wise, so we're gonna go down one more time. Alright. One crimped end. Now what I do on these is, instead of, because these bolts right here get so much pull and undo and crap on them, the military ones, they don't have a wire going through here. They have a bolt for the squeeze, and then they have a through bolt right here where you can bolt these eyes on either side. And I need to get some more, but I've got just enough for the Rent a Mule project, so I'm gonna probably get some brass ones. Now, the ones that have the plate across the top that just squeeze the stripped cable, I don't use the squeeze when I can get away with it, but I will use the two bolts to attach this to, and I'll show you all that in a minute. And then our heat shrink, of course, is going to go up, and it'll heat shrink like this, so that way we kind of keep the moisture and junk out of the hole there. All right, I got to grab a battery terminal, and then we'll get back at it. Let's get this plugged in. Now heat shrink this. Alright, that takes care of that. So I went to the parts house and grabbed this brass fitting. I like these. These last a little bit longer than, in my opinion. Let me get y'all over here where you can see a little better. So I use these bolts, and this top plate is a washer. So what we're gonna do is I am going to go ahead. I got 2 wrenches here. All right, this one is going to tighten her up, and I think I want this one. Let's see. I went ahead and made this without double checking my measurements. All right, we're going to try this right here. I find these brass terminals last a little longer. Like I said, I really prefer the military style, but those, like I said, I only have 1 set of those right now. I got some more coming in. So what we're going to do, we're going to loosen this up. And this hole right here is a little big for this bolt. That's why I use this top plate as the washer. And I'm going to show y'all just how we get all that together in just a second. I know my hands are in the way. The reason I like these is because you can get a little bit better, to me, you can get a little bit better connection, tightening wise, with the brass than you can with screwing into the lead. The lead one that has nuts on the bottom, I guess you could really crank down on it, but sooner or later you're gonna end up getting, you know, the lead screwed up. All right, let me get y'all a little closer where y'all can see. All right, so you can turn this any which way you want. That facilitates, you know, getting your wire in where you want it. And like I said, just use that like that, and that gives me a pretty good terminal in, probably just as good as the military clamps. And I've had good luck with them. So there we go. I'm going to get these hots connected, and we're going to volt test everything. Just a side note, all right, this is the old style repair job. So what I would do here is clean this copper, put another eye on there, and either incorporate this one or you do dual eyes, one on each one. And then you can put an eye, big eye here, little eye here, whatever you want. And you can use these if you want to, but again, brass is my preferred go-to. Some people like it, some people don't. But that's a good way to get rid of these. You get all of this open air areas that corrode. Now I checked it with the ohm meter, and it ain't broke right now, so we're not gonna worry about fixing it. But that's gonna probably be coming up pretty soon. All right, let's fire her up and test her out. Again, we were getting 14.2 to that side, going post to post with the meter, and we were just having battery voltage of like 12.7 or so on this side. So if we're seeing 14.2 or ish, 14-ish on both of them, then we fixed our connection. Sounded a lot better. That's 14.3. Let me check the other side. Tool truck's gonna live to fight another day. We got 14.37 on both sides, and she's cranking strong, so I think that fixed our problem. Any of y'all see anything that we could have done different? Or I always say we, it's pretty much just me, or me and Tristan, but y'all see anything that we could do better on, hit me up and let me know in the comments, or if there's anything that would help me or any of the viewers. You know, I like to try and leave the comments like a community resource for everybody. But that's it for now. We're getting ready to run out of daylight. So thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all on the next one.